this is actually going to be more of an energy report that's attached to the Disclosure 2025 Disclosure Now conference. But like with any channel, like with anything, I now open this circle to true benevolence with no conflicting agendas as of this moment in time. So, Joanna?
We are all one, and when one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am and I am one with all there is, that only the highest good be done. We pray for you, your friends, your family, your loved ones to let healing energies in. Let them love you, let them nourish you, and let them bring you to your highest good. We pray for us, our friends, our family, and our loved ones as well, to let healing energies in. Let them love you, let them nourish you, and let them bring you to your highest good. We ask for benevolence now to come in with no conflicting agenda, so that we may have this conversation in great understanding. And we ask for malevolent and mischievous beings to be swept away, so that we can have this conversation in peace. And with that and great blessings that we always send your way, we say so be it.
And so be it. Last year, I'll tie it to something from last year, and I won't name anybody or anything like that. But there was some attachments being thrown around at one point. Some of the crew came by and asked for my assistance. Then it was through other people that will remain nameless. And there were ETs, or how I perceived ETs, or what I perceived as tall whites running around. And they were a little short for tall whites. They weren't exactly a tall white. So I'm thinking, okay, these guys are malicious. I got to get rid of them. Well, we did a blessing last night on the property. Put tower busters in, did a whole lot. Put some Sedona dirt, Red Rock Canyon Valley Fire dirt in the water, shimgite, the whole thing. And we did that this morning. Well, as of this morning, as I did this, there were these tall white-ish looking beings that objected, and there was somebody we know that told us that I misidentified these as tall whites. These are a wraith type being like you'd see in Stargate Atlantis. I figured that was a representation of the Draco insectoid mix, and fish people mix. But in this, they're kind of fishish, but they have like a white piece of paper Casper-like appearance, but they're shorter and their fingers are slightly longer. And they will harass the bejeebus out of you. And in the middle of the night, those are loud seagulls if you hear that real fast. In the middle of the night, I had this really odd dream that obviously somebody was pissed at stirring up the energies here. By putting the crystals, we put crystal grid in and everything in place. Some that I gathered from Arizona, quartzite Arizona in the hills there. These beings were not happy. In the dream sequence, it was more like I was looking at a series of cell phones and a series of weird text messages that were coming in on the cell phones. And then I was hearing this weird cacophony of music, and then I heard Isaac yelling at me for me to wake up. I wake up, I go, ah! And I wake up, and he's around, looks like he'd gotten beat up by somebody. Like he has like an eye that's messed up here and everything. So I'm like, okay, this had to be this. He had some scratches with obviously the fingers. Kind of like the whole vampire claw thing like you see in the movie Sinners where they have the long fingers. That's kind of what like these guys have. I'm thinking a Nosferatu variation, but sort of. I just heard sort of. But these beings obviously were not happy that we were stirring the energies up. And you remember from last year, Bob the Dragon was around, and he still is. And I encountered some of these beings when I was on the beach, and he goes, I said, just eat them, and he goes, nah, they taste horrible, like you've left an old fish rotting out in the sun or something like that. He goes, not worth it. Then they make his stomach ache or something. And for a dragon to say that, that's a lot because they have an iron gut. They're like a goat. So obviously like one of us eating like an old like fish sandwich or something, or chicken sandwich left out on the counter or something. So some get salmonella. But anyway, they have like a weird coating on them too, like they sweated or something. But at any rate, Isaac just said that was a defense move. It's kind of like a cane toad where they have like they sweat this like poison. That's why both Burgess, he's here, and Bob won't touch these things. They have they secrete this poison like a like a fish or an amphibian or something would. Or like a rockfish or a stonefish has spikes that have poison in them, or jellyfish with their tentacles. So it's like that. So okay, I can see why he wouldn't want to do that. So energy report though, it seemed fine. There was some heavy spots. Did some stickering a little bit, and it seems pretty much okay. Other than the creepy, stinky, sweaty fish things, but we object to be calling fish things. Okay, but anyway, I know Bob wanted to give the report. I've heard Isaac, even while I was in the shower earlier, he was like basically instead of Bob update, it's BOBDATE. So he's showing me a news report in my head. BOBDATE 2025. Disclosure now 2025. So we wanted to do this today. We didn't give a date for the today. Do you know what the date is? Dear?
I believe this is Sunday before the conference.
That is, and I will check real fast.
Because I don't recall.
I want to give a proper timestamp. Give me a moment. Okay, it is. Okay, it is Sunday, July 13th. So, 2025. So, all right. Now, Bob or Burgess? Okay. All right. Let me fix everything here. Okay. Bob. He likes BOBDATE. Okay. Giving a BOBDATE. Okay. And yeah, Isaac showed me the banners like you see on news reports, or like on Waking with JP, where he does all the news graphics and everything. So, all right. But okay, yeah, there's your very large head. Okay. For God's sakes, Isaac. He goes, he has a large head because he's a mongoloid. Okay, let's see. Okay. Bob, holy crap, you're huge. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he goes, yes, he's big, but Burgess is just a raging fat ass. So, I resemble that remark. Okay. All right, let's see. Bob. Yeah, if you could through this, that'd be great. I like the term BOBDATE. I think that works just fine for me. I will give a BOBDATE, which is short for Energy Update of the Serrata Resort by Hilton. But, which I had to be around with the stirring up of the energies from the renovations going on, and it was quite annoying. But it did stir up things to eat, too. But ghosts, we can't eat that. That's more like somebody, one of us, or one of you inhaling cocaine. It doesn't exactly work right. And as also per these wraith thingies, yes, they secrete this weird toxin that drives us crazy. It's not unlike LSD, sort of. But it's closer to a mix between your LSD, ecstasy, and salmonella poison. You get food poisoning along with the hallucinations. And then we barf up everything, and we can't afford to barf up everything. We have to have every little morsel. So, this, I'm grateful that you cleared those things out. They're quite annoying, and when the renovations were stirring up, they were going crazy because they are a type of being that wants things always the way it is, forever and ever and ever, until the end of time. It's unchanging, unwavering. They have actually been here almost as long as I have. I say almost as long. They showed up roughly, it's post-Atlantean period, post-Dragon Apocalypse, or the Dragonberg in Africa, where Enlil tried to have us exterminated. It was a fight between Enki and Enlil, like I said before. But these beings, these are, You could say they're alien. That's not entirely accurate. They look like tall whites. Just because something looks alike does not mean that it is the same species. There were tall whites here too. Some things look very similar, just like different gray species look similar. And there may be some panspermia involved in this somehow that with a similar DNA from the Great Seeding. I would vote yes on this. But these beings have a little bit of alien in them, but they're technically from here. They're a primordial variant, but more of a fish. I'd say fish, lizard, human-esque looking thing, alien sort of thing. And you've heard of the reptilian species known as the tern. These guys are related to them, with a little more fish in them. They're not mer, they're not aquatic or twatic reptilian. I love the name twatic, that's great. Those guys deserve every bit of it. They're barbarians. They tend to skin us when they find us, so no. They're creepy. We're one of the only Draco variants out there that can actually contend with the dragon. So this is why Burgess was not too happy encountering them or being around them. The tern essentially evolved from a dinosaur species, or so you were told, and turned into a reptoid species. They're green. They look like one of you, but they're green with scales, and they have yellowy, orangey eyes, and they can do the whole hologram trick. These guys are related by cousinship, but they took more of a fish DNA. You could say it's that whole stupid walking fish story. They like to say, oh, the first fish walked on land, therefore human. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to have something in between to speed this up or go millions and millions and millions of years. This was genetic engineering that sped this process for both the tern, the reptoids, and these weirdos that like to sweat poop, apparently. So, these guys, our sweat can provide a toxin too, but it's not a lot. These guys are all this, like how certain fish have toxins and certain sea creatures, like sea kraits or the sea snakes have toxin, or like your snakes have venom, things of that nature. This came from a sea creature defense. Very much like in your Jurassic World where they created that dinosaur out of a raptor, T-Rex, and a cuttlefish. It's rather similar. The tern were more from salamander-ish, and also mix of that and some stegosaurus type of variations in there, and some of the ones with a head crest, like you see in your Star Trek Voyager, where they evolved with ones with a head crest and all that, over 65 million years. They were more created in the time of the Great Seeding. Sometimes the servant race, they broke free. Then these guys also broke free, but these guys decided to remain dicks. And then they evolved into more of a civilization, if you could call it that. Then they hung out in the same areas over and over and over again. What they don't realize is in their genetic memory, they were created to just kind of hang out in an area and complete a job. It's like in a video game where you have a bunch of workers complete a job and then they all stand there awaiting orders. It's like you were told about Fairies by Orlok, where they decide that they need instructions or they're going to badger you. That's like these guys. At least the tern have evolved some common sense. These guys just have evolved body odor. That's it. They're highly intelligent, but they walk around naked. They're bony. They have these weird scaly fish scales, sort of, but they're smooth and let's just say nothing that you want to see without clothes on. So. And I've been given the finger from a distance away. These also were tweaked in the Yankee and Enlil time frame, where they both decided to take these and bump their evolution up a little bit more. And the most they succeeded in doing was get them to secrete some kind of urine-colored syrup. So, that said, I can go to questions.
So how do they affect humanity? How do they affect humans? What do?
They can mentally manipulate people. They can make them sick with toxins. Just like with any jellyfish, you get it on you. You have to use vinegar to get rid of it. They make you sick. They can mentally manipulate people into making you think that they're anything that they want. He assumed military intrusion or V2K intrusion with the cell phone thing, that was their trickery, trying to misdirect to another target. Yes, V2K, he's heard V2K in the mouth, but they utilize that as a form of camouflage. Like with an octopus that goes on the ocean, they change the color and look like a rock. That's what they do with their mental telepathy. They are very nasty individuals. They will take the memory that you have, and twist it like what the Draco do. They will use it against you, etc., etc. Also, in your Valley of Fire area, there is a rival version of them there. He again misinterpreted them as Tall White or Syrian. There are Tall Whites there, of course. Around your Nelson, you have your Lanulosians and you have Draco and all that. There's a variation in Valley of Fire there. You see all the fish alcoves that are there in Valley of Fire. This is a variation of these guys. He said he had a dream once of a fish type being coming up and slapping you in the face. It's similar to these guys. Just like you have humans that have different skin colors on different continents, even though those are different ET variations. Like in your South Park episodes, one race, one world, and then they all came here for their reality show. That's that. Or the Great Experiment, that is. Or the Great Seeding. This is very similar to the ones that were outside of the Lanulosian portal gateway there. These guys are pretty much the epitome of an asshole. So they can't kill anybody. They'll just try to ruin their day because they don't like humans coming and going from here. But they're not bright enough to realize there is a resort here where there's tourists. At least I capitalize on this and eat stuff. They will stand there and bitch and complain and cause nightmares. Like with any wraiths in the legends, yes, a wraith in and of itself is a projection of somebody who's left pain behind. Like in your Witcher series, it created a monster with the long fingers and everything. He always says there was a woman in it that was killed by her husband who was possessed, and she formed a pain of like all the harassment and abuse and everything. And a pin, the character of Geralt finds her within a painting of her own realm, a pocket realm. Yes, that is very similar. They will take anything, like any demonic life form, and take it and use it against you. They were created to basically, they were tweaked, I should say. First, they were made as a servant race, then they broke free, but then they were tweaked to be like an enemy soldier. You can thank Inkin and Enlil for this. They have not stopped doing this. They stand around, they're bored, they'll see, okay, we can actually fulfill our purpose here. They don't understand they can change their purpose. I suppose under your law of one premise, now they'll have to. But, let's just say Stinky Bones over there, and that I'm saying, a dragon says a lot when they say that. If you smelled them around, they would smell like a mix between a rotting corpse and a rotting fish. And they are sometimes within your legends of the creepy white things with long fingers. Some are Atlantis as well. There's these robotic things that are in Antarctica that they dug up where they have like a conical head and they're robotic. You guys saw these years ago in dream sequences with the robot that could spin their head around and look, and they had the weird conical head. That's Atlantis. Also, your Terminator is Atlantis as well. You know about that legend where that's where people get that from. They're looking back instead of thinking they're looking forward, kind of thing, because it's undealt with. These are remnants of some of those times. And the beings that exist now are a pain in the ass. There's not many of them here. They will make you think there's an army of them here. There's probably 23 of them, tops.
You mean in this particular area?
Yeah, there is not a lot of them, but one's bad enough.
But are they around the world in different places?
Yeah, they're mainly clinging to coastal areas and also former seas. That's why you had a couple in Arizona and Nevada. Anywhere that was an ocean. The ocean during your Atlantean-Lemurian conflict that was in the Sedona area boiled. There's some mer that also lived there. Don't mistake the fish mer types like you see in your Aquaman. Being by the name of Slithoro Perteum gives his regards from there. He talked to you guys quite often out there. But Anything where you had a fish person bitching and complaining that their sea was boiling and that they needed to retaliate, like what he said in his book, From the Fall to the Lifting, they needed to retaliate for old wounds. That's these shitheads. They will cling to coastal areas, and there's some in Africa too, and there's some further north. They don't like cold. They bitch about the cold, so they stay usually as close to the equator as possible. And they will harass anybody that approaches some of their old haunts or hangouts. Haunt is actually closer, because they like to haunt shit. For beings that like to be left alone, they like to not leave people alone. They're stupid. So they're highly intelligent, they have like high math skills and everything, but they won't make technology, they won't evolve, and they, even some of your aquatic Draco, very similar in look. Also, you go the creature from the Black Lagoon types that are in your state of North Carolina, in some of the lakes there that he spotted in a dream sequence once, that are a bilocation or session sequence once, where there was some walking on the bottom of some lakes. They had the footprint with the two thumbs. Even in your state of New York, they live in the sewers. That's why he had a dream where he had to climb up a building away from some of these aquatic draconian types. There's a draconian king that lives up there, or another weird child of Odin's there. One of Poseidon's brothers that has reptilian. Has Draco there. Odin decided that he was going to sleep with multiple types of things, apparently, and use his DNA to create other stuff. But as well as that's Anu, Enki, and Enlil. Well, and the other two brothers decided to throw crap back and forth. Like, you have these beings that throw attachments on people through humans. That's what Enki and Enlil were doing. They were throwing crap at each other, like monkeys throwing feces at each other. It was quite annoying, actually. They calmed it down, sort of, in this time frame. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Enki / Poseidon, he's calmed down the most. Enlil is still the same bastard he always was. So, and I say bastard in the truest sense. He's Odin's son, yes, sort of. Different father. You would call him Alalu, or to be more specifically, Mephistopheles in your biblical text. That's the Lucifer and Mephistopheles. And him being Lucifer and Mephistopheles being the father, or Loki and the father. Like, the father was different, like you see in the Marvel movie.
Right.
Yeah. So had more of a frost giant or type of thing going on in the movie. But in the Sumerian legend, it was Alalu. But in this, and if you saw Enlil, he looked more like a Middle Easterner. It's like in your account where the two brothers looked different with the different skin tones and everything. That's Enki and Enlil, where one's more whitish, Vikingish, and the other one's more Middle Eastern looking.
Right.
So
last year you were raging. When we did your talk after the conference, you were just pretty darn angry because, of course, the wars are still being fought. From nothing settled down.
Old wound.
So, any changes in this last year, or is everything still status quo?
Changed very little. The two brothers still want to, as your South Park would say, play Rochambeau, where one kicks each other in the nuts till the other one falls. They still do this. They just aren't as public about it. They're slightly more like, how can I kick my brother in the nuts without it looking like I kicked him in the nuts? Mm-hmm. This time it's like, okay, we'll move a statue here. We'll move a chess piece here. We'll give a message here. And we'll set a flag, plant a flag here, and therefore, in the nuts. That's how they do it now. Lines on a map, as you've said. So, with that said, it's same shit, different day. I get that they want to save Enlil and be able to reintegrate him into his frozen corpse of a shell there, but like you see in Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, I get it. He was different once. I get it, but there comes a time where sometimes you have to let go. And if they let him thaw and regurgitate, he'll just show up as a vampire somewhere else. I get it. They don't want that. There was also a scene in your Diablo 2 where one of the fallen angels in it was thawed out, and that was an Enlil figure. Or in your Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where you see the Enlil-ish figure that's in that, creating and destroying civilizations. That they don't want. They don't want that coming back.
So how is he affecting things but yet he's kind of on ice as well?
He can bilocate and shalico people. Like you saw in the movie Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, he can possess other people, even though he's like... so he can literally jump into others.
So I'm assuming the types of people that he's jumping into are more people that are in control of things.
And in control of things, as well as have the right compatibility, both genetically and also mindset as well. Manipulating them to the point where they're energetic frequency compatible.
Well, that would be, I mean, it wasn't the point of the servant races who turned into the Cabal line that they had that genetic capability?
Yes, but this is also multiple factions doing this, but yes, he will try to hijack others as well, other families as well. His brother has also done his fair share of clan creating too. Mm-hmm. So Enki's not, or Poseidon's not out of the woods with this either.
No, I get it, because I believe they all are, a part of that too. I guess what I'm saying
Odin
is...
too.
They're all still... When there's a drive-by possession, then let's call it, because that's what it sounds like, drive-by possession.
Mm-hmm. Gang warfare, yes. Drive-bys, yes.
Do the people that are being possessed just have missing time, or do they know it? Is it really just a temporary thing, or?
A lot of times anymore, they're channeled.
Okay.
As a guide.
Okay.
And yes, Poseidon is doing this. Your forest people, of course, they do this. It's part of the whole hedge betting of the gods process. But there's good guys doing it, like myself, and then there's other bad guys doing it. This is the newly brought up, I shouldn't say newly brought up process, this has happened the entire time. Post-Atlantis, this has happened the entire time. When things were fractured and they had to be in other frequencies and such, mm-hmm. and the timelines all got fucked up and everything, and the Bermuda Triangle and the Dragon's Triangle, all that surface, this is how it had to be done. Not all of them have to do it this way. Like the Wraith, if they could enter your frequency quite easily. They just are not allowed to. They will get nailed. Big time. This is a legality here. Your Lanialosians can manifest as well. They can enter your frequency quite easily. Isaac could enter your frequency quite easily. So could I. It's just that I would be carpet bombed. Trust me. So if I came into this, your military would come after me.
Right.
So, no.
Again, as we've said, because probably people are hearing us after the conference, that, there is a point of view narrative that is going to be released, and you guys ain't a part of it in general, right? I mean, all of this stuff is not supposed to really come out, the true existence of all of this. It's a controlled history. Yes. And so you would be carpet bombed, any of you guys that,
because remember, knights always slew the dragon. Mm-hmm. You would have your modern day knights, either some wannabes in your armor and everything with wooden swords and foam bats and all this other stuff doing it, or you would have your actual Spec Ops military doing the same. We have to have a trophy. Mm-hmm. This is what some of your knights of old did. Mm-hmm. This is what happened to some of our people. Knights of old. Just like in your Skyrim, you had one with a king named Olog and the dragon named Numenix, where he had him in the trap in Dragon's Reach and kept him as a pet. You would have shit like that again. Mm-hmm. I'm not dumping on humanity, but this is what would happen. Mm-hmm. Everybody's taught that you must slay the dragon, and that there's a dragon cults out there. Yes and no. That's what some of the Christians would say, like in this video he watched. That talked about the Reynolds family and how there was somebody that was in a dragon cult in your like Havasu City with the Mary statue that was actually a Naga or a Echidna. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that bitch with a 100-foot or 100-yard pole. She's gross, like these guys. I point to them because they're off that way. Very similar in secreting garbage. Echidna is gross. Naga are disgusting. So they like to peg them as dragons. I object to this. Burgess objects to this. Just like they peg Draco and dragons, just because Draco is the root word in your languages. Does not matter. Just because it's in all your languages does not matter. But they seeded it that way so that one could not tell the difference between Draco and Dragon. People are getting it from the Ragnarok time frame. They're getting it from their latent memories. They're getting the Apocalypse from that time frame as well. Things with teeth. They're getting also things coming out of the dark. That's more Neanderthal. And Ghoul out of wood, dark woods. And people think, Sasquatch will get us that way. No, that's how they get into aim at forest people. In this way, they peg Draco and Dragon the same, so they come at us. And then you got some asshole with a sword and shiny armor coming out and going into one of our caves and chopping our head off. And they learned real quick how to do it. And their god told them how to find them. How convenient of Enlil to do this. Going through a night that's worthy of carrying the sword. That's that whole royal bloodline crapola and the Holy Grail crapola and the Knights of the Round Table. Going on a quest to find something that you had in you. For one, somebody would say that, say it represents a soul, but in this case, like your St. George and slaying the dragon. No. What actually happened with St. George, he came into the cave and he murdered the dragon that was there by shoving a sword through its eye. And with silver, he was told, get a silver one, and dip it in a particular poison, which was not too dissimilar from the toxin that is on these stinky creatures, and a little bit of like echidna in there, and they knew exactly how to get one of our people. George was heralded as a saint. We're killing the devil. No. Epitome of night. Slaying the dragon, and hence, therefore, that story was born. This is what happened. He even paraded the skull around for years. The man was a pussy. I am telling you right now. He came in, tiptoeing, and didn't even fight fair. So, he had a sword capable of cutting through one of us. That means he was given a tool. It had a silver lining to it. Silver lining, get it? There's a pun in there too. That was basically a tool given to him by God. A blessed sword. Who do you think gave it to him? This was a tool from the time of Atlantis, an actual sword from the time. This is like in your Stargate SG-1 program where they find the sword in the stone is actually a piece of technology. And the Ark of Truth is actually technology. And the Holy Grail is a device that could wipe out ascended being. Crap like that. All weapons of mass destruction, it seems, in some fashion. The Arcforge could be turned into a multiversal bomb and create another Bermuda Triangle if Enlil wanted to. In Axum there, where it's being stored. You can tell by the big crack around Axum that the thing belched and decided to make a crack. But it did that across the multiverse, like in your Star Trek episode. You saw the alternative factor where the two realities cancel out. That thing can do that. That's where you get some of this shit from. That's where Roddenberry gets some of this stuff from. But, on all actuality, George was not a good person. He was heralded as such. It's also like how in your Planet of the Apes movies where you had the General Thabe character. And then Mark Wahlberg's character jumps ahead in time and sees that he's being heralded very much like one of your founding fathers, like Abraham Lincoln or somebody that has a statue and everything. But in that time, he was a coward. It's similar with St. George. It's the same thing. And then you also have your St. Christopher, who was technically, that was first shown as a dogman or a werewolf, and Jesus comes and cures him of werewolfism. And then all of a sudden he's now a human on the metals and everything. He's not a werewolf anymore. It was actually Antiqua that was actually considered by the Christians to be tainted because, he had dog DNA, therefore Jesus had to save him. No, it was the Antiqua versus Enlil. Okay? Let's get that straight. Basically, instead of being uncorrupted, that was showing the story of some of the Antiqua being corrupted by Enlil. And / Osiris. Therefore, you have Anubis resurrecting Osiris as the Green Osiris. That's clear enough there. So, I know I diverted, but this is some of the little hidden historical nuggets.
Well, thank you. So, anything else you want to talk about? I guess we'll do a post-conference with you right before we leave too. So, anything you want to say prior to us shutting this down for today?
Well, I know you haven't had the conference yet at this point in time. Just know that there are varieties of different beings that will show up. Just know that doing channelings like this in this environment tends to attract different gawkers. Just pay them no mind. They will come in, they'll sit down, listen to the talks, and they may tap you on the shoulder periodically, like, "Oh, excuse me," that kind of thing. Or like a groupie. So just know that they're not assaulting, they're just groupies. They sometimes don't go about it the right way and wonder why they're getting swung at. They do it to me too. They'll poke me on the shoulder and I have to growl at them, and then they think they're being mean, that kind of crap. So just know that, don't feel bad if one is all butthurt or anything. Just know some of them are just curious people, different galactics, different elemental types, and they'll listen to the talks. And they may even try to nudge a few of them from time to time to get some information out there. That's some of the headbutting going on. So some of them are sitting next to each other, sometimes going, "I bet you I can get this person to say this. Watch for this." And then the other guy goes, "Nah, I think I'll do this. Nah, I think I'll do this." You have to watch for this. But just like you saw it years ago and didn't realize it. You drew a picture of him with a female elf behind him sticking her hand in the back of his back.
Mm-hmm.
And him channeling in a public forum. They try this crap. They do it constantly. They're not evil, they're just competitive little turds. So, and I say turd in the truest respect, it's stupid. It's like somebody wanting to one-up to, like two jocks saying if they could sleep with the same girl or some shit like that. It's this frat house shit. And I think it needs to stop. It probably won't stop anytime soon. I'm just warning you about it. They love this. It's a game to them. Like, okay, let's see if we can make this guy trip off the stage. They do that crap too. Like some of those on your America's Funniest Home videos where you see somebody walk off a stage or some shit. They do this.
Mm-hmm.
They do this. They make people trip and fall in a hole. Do stuff like that where where you're like, oh God, when you see somebody fall. This is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Now point at him. It's just like his friend Ryan saw the fane or goat deer-like thing in a park pointing at people and somebody fell and broke their ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Or he saw the wizard-looking guy in Prescott Valley trying to screw with the street lights, and it looked like a wizard. He cut the head off, disappeared, and Ryan also threw the being in the water, disappeared, and everything went back to normal. You're dealing with some other beings in galactics that sit there and go, "That guy right there, let's do this." So watch for this. It is they love public events like this to do it. They sit and go, even big musical numbers, they'll try to get somebody to flow, like Beavis and Butthead going hex, miss to the guy playing golf on the TV screen, and then he misses and the guy throws his club. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They do this crap often. Sometimes it's funny if they do it to somebody that deserves it. Most of the time they don't. They just want to screw with somebody and make them flow, or make them nervous, or make them screw up in some fashion. Just watch for this. There's several of them in the building right now. Or in the buildings or in the resort right now. They don't give a rat's ass about you guys. But it doesn't mean they won't sit there and make you go, just then they think they go, like Beavis and Butthead, they sit around going, that kind of crap. And I say it in the truest sense, they're like a frat house.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. If I give the only warning, that's it.
Okay, well, thank you. Any last word?
Yes, also, you encountered him in Vegas one time, I will say, in the neighboring room when he heard them next door.
Okay.
And when he heard some, like, he compared them to frat guys,
mm-hmm.
and he heard telepathic field, and he said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" He goes, "Oh, no." The guys go, "Oh, no, we have to leave. We've been discovered." "Oh, shit, he can hear us," that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not unlike the guys at the mall that he observed the woman and man at the Illinois Mall, but those guys were just there as tourists.
Mm-hmm.
The ones in Vegas were like the ones I just said. They were going to go around and make a girl's top pop off, crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what they were planning to do. That's why they were butthurt. So
mm-hmm.
that's they're all over the place. You can't avoid it. you can just be resilient and say, stop it. That's about it. And they'll try to mimic the mouth too a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
They'll try to hit that wavelength so you don't discover them. And they try to make it a point to try to mimic some of these things. So that's all I have at the moment.
Well, thanks. And you know what? We'll check in later on and get your ending Bob report. How about that?
The Bob report, or yes. So with this, now BOBDATE.
BOBDATE.
BOBDATE. That, and also those beings try to act like guides and gurus do. And they think it's funny. Yes, living light. Yes. Okay, now I'm done. Thank you. Can't throw them under the bus enough because I don't want them doing it.
Okay.
There we go. And he's right too. In Vegas, I heard some in a neighboring room, like 3 or 4 of them screwing around, and that's at ET Central there. But yeah, you have a popular event when you have the frat guys show up. So that's a good event when somebody wants to party crash and go and do that kind of crap. So yeah, it can be funny, I suppose. But I knew there was something up about the America's Funniest Home Videos thing where some of that was happening too often. So now I get it. All right. So I don't know if you have anything else to add to this.
No. Hope everybody enjoyed our BOBDATE.
BOBDATE 2025. All right. Now, and that was Isaac putting that in there. That is 2 cents in there, showing me the news report and everything. So I now close this circle within true benevolence and no conflicting agendas at this moment in time. So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye now. Okay, I'll give a bit of an energy report. There's been some butthurt beings that come and go. Not a lot, but we felt a little harassed during the night. But wasn't that great of a night. It was storming a bit too, but that's not what did it. The big lightning thunder, not what did it. It was those wraithish beings. One to be exact, but that I saw. But they sound really weird. When they talk. They'll say they'll do things like "You get out of here," and they have like this really lippy voice, like how a fish, you would expect a fish to have, like, and like if the fish was angry at you or something, and they're like, "Get out of here!" No, you get out of here. They didn't like the fact the conference is here, but there's really when somebody's actually doing that, they're basically, it's the equivalent to giving you the finger, and when they're at the finger stage like that, hashtag finger stage. When they're at the finger stage, they've lost. So, any of the bad guys, if they're doing stuff like that, where it's the equivalent of flipping you off, then they've lost. So, there's not a whole lot they could do. They could put a few bad thoughts in my head, but it wasn't really all that strong. It was more like just a poke. Like somebody poking you, and the equivalent to a poke on Facebook, and not a poke in your stomach or something like, no, it was just annoying enough to keep you up. So I suppose that would be detrimental if you were trying to sleep for work or something, but that's about all the range of their abilities, looks like. So especially with the law of one in place that we did when we blessed the property and gridded it. And also, update as well, if people are interested, what Bob was talking about, there are 2 quests, the main quest and a side Bard's College quest in Skyrim that talk about that same thing he was talking about, with the knights killing the dragon. The whole game of Skyrim is that, I suppose, but the Numenix and Olaf thing, that's the main quest, and then you have the Bard's College one with the poem. Those are the 2 that he was talking about. Those are citing source reference. So if you want to go check that out, and you're starting the King Olaf celebration again with the effigy and all that in Solitude. Those are the citing source reference, disclosure in the media. So what he was comparing St. George to. So I suppose the whole game is that relatively, but those specifically. So I will leave that energy report here. It is 8:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, July 14th, 2025. Thank you.